Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Backfire Simsport TV and welcome to the BSTV Clio UK Cup, brought to you tonight live from Donington. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me, as usual, it's Wobbly Loves Donington Kneecaps. Good evening, Wobbly.
Hey, good evening, Clyde. I'm really thrilled to be here. I think that if I would describe a perfect track, I could name a couple of them. I could name Nürburgring. I like that one. I like Jerez, obviously, because we all noticed that this week. I like Monza, which is weird, but I like it. But way up there above anything else is Donington. I think that Donington has it all. That like the first sector, the technique you have to get into to the first corner, the Carreno curves, and then the fast right-hander in old hairpin, which eventually ends out into a semi-straight up to McLean's, going to Coppes. I mean, it's just amazing. I think that, yeah, it has all the best bits of every track combined in the world.
Well, I am glad you are finally seeing some appreciation for Donington. And I promise not to mention that race.
What race? Tell me about it.
I actually think Donington is absolutely fantastic. And I think tonight these guys, we've got 12 of them on track at the moment, are going to give us some absolutely fantastic racing, because Donington is a track that you can overtake on. And I've heard through the grapevine, and I'm not going to mention any names about who the driver is or who I get my inside information from, but somebody has been practicing, and it's going to be interesting to see if practice pays off and that person is going to rise to the top. We're about to start the 15-minute qualifying session. For anybody that hasn't watched this series in the past, we have two fast and furious 20-minute races, a short interlude between, and a reverse top 8 starting grid for race 2. Everything else is BSTV standard. But what do you think, Wobbly? Do you think Donington is going to show us its best, or do you think it might turn into a little bit of a draft fest, which, to be honest, with a low horsepower car, isn't much of a bad thing?
Yeah, so I think that like the way the Clio behaves on Donington, it's a track which lends itself for cars which have less horsepower. I think we did this track on Formula 4 a while back, which was good fun, to be honest. But it also felt like, because of all the mid-speed corner speeds, like you have this, like all the corners are semi-speed, and somebody's steering off there.
Who was that? Please tell me it was Pete. No, I don't think it was Pete.
It was Sam using.
Ah, right, there you go.
Yeah, so it's not really point and turn kind of corners, and I think that is an advantage for cars with less horsepower and with less aerodynamics as well, because you really are relying on the mechanical grip, which you are able to set up an overtake. If you look at the chicane, for example, it's just a chicane. But like the first corner is like probably third gear. I haven't driven the track in Clio, but it's probably third gear. Third gear through that, and all the way down to the Carreno curves. Thank you.
You get there eventually.
Yeah, eventually. I'll get the Corona curves. That's what they call it now.
Yeah, so down through the Corona curves.
For the Corona curves. You get like an immense ton of speed, and then you end up to McLean's, which is, I wouldn't say an overtaking opportunity, but if you're like sticking your nose in there, somebody could get put off and gets a bad run up to on the bridge, and then if you force yourself into that position, you might be able to even get the move done on turn 7 in McLean's. And yeah, I think it's gonna be good racing. And again, I love this track. It's just, it has every good bit of everything in the world.
Yeah, I agree. So we are about to start a flying lap on board with JB Dejoux. Hopefully he's listening and he can feel the pressure. Do you want to take us through this flying lap, Wobbly?
Yes, sure, mate. So JB is lining it up for the first corner, going all the way to the left. Don't go all the way over the white line because you get a slowdown right there. You start braking a little bit after the blue cone on the left. You try to clip the gravel on the right hand side. JB just overdid it a little bit and got sent wide by a small margin of amount. And then you go your foot down. You go all the way to the right and you try to get a sweeping corner to the left and try to get as far left as you possibly can. You start braking at the beginning of the curves, and then again you cut the corner as hard as you possibly can. Try to watch out that you don't wash out to the left because there's a lot of gravel on the left side, and if you hit that, then you're gonna get a slowdown as well. So you go all the way to the left, and again you brake at the end of the curve zone. Try to avoid the tenacious stand to turn in too quickly because it's all about that sweeping movement. And then there's no brake marker for this corner going up to Coppice. And then and what you want to do, you want to get the line. There's a little bit of camber on the inside, and once you hit that camber, you can put your foot down and let the car wash out, and just trust the fact that you have the mechanical grip to do so. This corner, there's a chicane. You start braking a little bit in front of the sign on the right, and then you cut through on the left. You hit the curb real hard, so you try to get as much speed as you possibly can without watching out. And I think it was quite a good lap, besides from a small mistake on the first corner, and we see JB jumping up to 5th position. So it says it all. He did a massive job on this lap we just watched.
Yeah, and we must have a big shout out there to JB for not bidding it whilst we was on board.
Definitely.
That's always a bonus. So where are we? We're coming up on 5 minutes, so nearly a third of a way through this qualifying session. Johnny Brandon currently sits on provisional pole with Simon Trendle second and Jamie Wilson third. So let's take the viewers through a few things. So last time out we was at Snetterton 300. The results from race 1. I've got your disease now. Is on your screens. You'll see that Johnny Brandon won the first race with Simon Trendle in second and Jamie Wilson in third. Surprisingly, race 2 looks pretty much identical, with Johnny Brandon first, Simon Trendle in second and Jamie Wilson in third. So what has that done to the standings, you ask yourselves? Well, there you have it. Drop scores are now counting. So you can see Johnny Brandon has got nearly 100 points over Simon Trendle. Jamie Wilson chasing down his teammate currently in third place. Rob Venn fourth and Sam Boozin in fifth. And we'll stop there because we don't want to say the next name. In the team standings, Team Chimera, massive lead. Those two boys have done really well and really bagged the points. XVR led by Johnny Brandon in second, and the first of the BSTV Esports chasing them hard. But the most important championship is the driver of the season. And I don't know if me and Wobbly have been doing some tactical voting or not, but we've got 4 drivers tied for first place: Darren Rayfield, JB Dejoux, Simon Trendle and Jamie Wilson, and then another 4 drivers tied for 5th place with Stephen Goebel, Pete Bingham, Sam Boozing and Sam Blees. So that was the standings. Let's get back to this qualifying session. Now, I have actually, in real life, taken the old Clio Cup car around Donington.
Have you?
And it was absolutely fantastic. I've never driven this new version, but the old one was very, very forgiving. Very, very, you know, the old adage with the front wheel drive that you feel the back stepping out and you just plant your right foot on the floor and everything comes back to you. It was exactly like that. I did have some instruction the day before the racing, or the day before the qualifying and the racing, and my instructor, a guy called Dave, was absolutely fantastic, a local to this track, and knew every single little place on the track where you could gain another thousandth of a second, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Unfortunately, didn't have the money to carry it on, but yeah, it was great, and I'm sure these drivers are going to have an absolute blast around here today, Wobbly.
Yeah, I think that most of the people, and I don't know why Adam is going to the pit, but I think that most of them, most of the drivers are British, besides from JB. I think it's all British besides from JB.
Well, you say that. I can spot
Mark
an
Steele?
Australian.
Well, Wayne is Wayne Australian?
Yeah, I can spot a German.
Yeah, but I mean, Germans don't
I
really
can
count.
spot an American.
Yeah, that's JB.
I can spot a Belgian who thinks he's French.
Okay, like the half the field is British. let's agree on that, right? Okay. Half the field is British. So
right.
No, but I mean, like most of the guys on track, they really thoroughly enjoy driving Donington.
There is a British driver going through the Corona curves.
Oh, through the Corona curves. Is it Rob Fenn? Gets a little bit of Corona on the left, a little bit of Corona on the right, and you go right through the middle and you don't have any. But I think that most of the drivers, they thoroughly enjoy driving this track, which helps put the competition on. Looking at the current standings with 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go, we have Johnny Brandon with a 1:16.684, and right behind him, with a hundredth of a second behind him, is Simon Trendle with a 6:94. Very close to those top runners we've been seeing the last season, the current season. It's Wayne Sanderson, who's only 2/10 off of them, like a tenth and a half. And if you look closely, like the whole field from 11th to 1st, and I'm gonna exclude Sir Alan here, it's not what. It has nothing to do with his capability of driving the car, but like at the current times, they are within a second. Yes. 11 cars within a second, Clyde.
Yeah, it is fantastic. The start is going to be brilliant. We hope there's not going to be any shenanigans. But I tell you what I'm wondering. So last week when we spoke to Johnny Brandon, he told us the story that the man and woman that own his local cafe were watching him, and the lady in question said to Johnny that if he won the race, he would get a free coffee and a free panini. He then went on and won the race. So I need to ask Johnny, A, did he get his coffee and panini, and B, is there a full English breakfast on the race tonight?
I'm curious about that, and if he did really get the free breakfast he was promised, then I want to see proof of that with pictures.
Yeah, and I think obviously any deal like that should extend out to the broadcasting team.
Oh, definitely, yeah, and I think that he should email it to me.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
the food gets bad. You know, it might take, your panini might be cold when it gets there, but mine's got a chance.
yeah, I think that's a good subtle way of telling them, give me some food, and then you get the driver to meeting food, right?
Exactly. I'm not saying we're bribable, but I'm always hungry. I do like paninis. I love cake.
That are your words, Clyde. I'm bribable.
Johnny Brandon looks like he's gone out, done a lap, and is probably negotiating free food as we speak, because he's sat in the pits and he hasn't bothered coming out again. However, Simon Trendle is out there. He is 1/100th of a second, well actually it's 9,000ths of a second behind pole position man Johnny Brandon at the moment. Running out of time though, Wobbly. We're coming up on 12.5 minutes, and we know because of the iRacing heat system. As soon as the checkers come out, that's it. There's no finishing your lap.
Yeah, and no finishing the lap. I think that, and I'm gonna be honest here, and I think that's one of the worst characteristics that iRacing has. That it doesn't really allow you to set up a heat racing and just allows you to finish the lap, and it just cuts it off. I mean, it just gives away the tension of I'm trying. Am I gonna get the last lap in? Am I able? Am I gonna time it right? Am I gonna do a cooldown lap and just get like 2 seconds before the session really ends, getting it over the line? I think it just lacks a bit of element of surprise.
Yeah, it's all down to timing, isn't it, for the drivers, and whether you time it right. What it can do is, the drivers are out on the track and they know they can't get another lap in, so everybody goes to the pits, and it sort of robs us of a minute or a minute and a half of cars going as quickly as they can around the track. But talking about times, and he's just reset as I clicked on him. Pete Bingham has put himself up into 4th place ahead of Jamie Wilson.
That must be
going on there?
That's an error. I call it. That's an error. It's an off track.
I think Pete is probably sat with his feet up on the sofa and Victoria is driving tonight. That's what
Oh no! Wait! Like this weekend is Crofts, right?
Is what? Croft?
Croft? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Croft. So there might be a really small chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know when he's coming over, but if he's coming over tonight, now I'm gonna bet you who's driving that car.
That's another possibility. Yes.
And we're not talking about Gary Craig, but we are. So we're just gonna give it. If Pete does a good job, we're just gonna tell everyone Gary did it.
Lots of conspiracy theory there. So we have got one car on track in the final few seconds of qualifying. That is Marcus Neal. We missed him last week, but he's back. Evening to Old Man O'Connor on the chat. Still don't know why he hasn't signed up. Nice slow car will suit him down to the ground on his Sunday drive. So qualifying is over. Wobbly is going to extend the gridding, and I'm going to press lots of buttons until I get the right thing up on the screen. So let's have a go. Is it going to work? No. Oh yes, look at that. I'm amazing.
Oh, it's a surprise.
I don't know how I do it sometimes. Anyway, your pole sitter for tonight is Johnny Brandon for XVR. Second, Simon Trendle, Team Chimera. Third is Wayne Sanderson for XVR Oz. Pete Bingham, 4th place. That ain't going to last. BSTV Esports 3. Jamie Wilson, 5th, Team Chimera. Stefan Goebel in 6th for BTS Esports. Adam Wright is 7th for BSTV Esports 2. Rob Venn and JB Dejoux come next for BSTV Esports. Sam Boozin is 10th for BSTV Esports 2. Marcus Neal in 11th for WKG Motorsport. And Privateer Alan Toon rounds out your grid. So, let's get rid of that, because that looks horrible, and this doesn't actually look like a bad view of the start. That's surprising.
No, it's one of the. I remember doing this race on Donington once. I can't remember who won though. I can't remember who came in second, but I remember that this camera views, like all the cameras, are pretty good all around Donington. It has a good overview of all the fast corners, all the slow corners, which it doesn't really have any, but. Besides from the chicane. But it has a good overview of where the track is going and how cars are going to stack up. And the thing is, Clyde, I'm gonna look forward to this one. I'm looking forward to maybe a person who practiced for this, maybe doesn't really got the time and he wanted, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna give a certain person a chance, a battle.
Yes, I can't disagree. Evening to Mike Frost on the chat as well. Everybody is now on the grid. The lights are about to come on, and we're going to see some Clio action. We are green.
Oh, and they are going live, and it's a really good start for Simon Trent on the left, on the right-hand side of Johnny Brandon. Always trying to get the outside line, but on the inside there's a small look of Wayne Sanderson. Adams going right around on the left-hand side, but he's got to concede a position maybe to Jamie because he's on the better line. But they all lined up in one still line without any collisions or anything. It's a little small look at the rear. Rob Van checking out if he can get past past Adam Wright. But it all seems to be really clean and nice. And Simon is already trying to get a fast one on Johnny on the left-hand side, but there's a right-hand side coming up. Is Johnny going to be able to survive this one? Simon is possible going back, maybe do the cutback, keep the car there, so he's got to get a run on that. And going to Compass, is he going to be able to send it there? But it's barely a possibility, and he tried to concede that one. Yeah. And they all concede. Really good start.
Maybe a little early for a massive send, but that driver in fourth place is actually Pete Bingham. He's going to have a go here.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a long way round the outside. Look out!
I won't say anyone. I won't tell anyone that I whispered something in his ear, but he tried to do it, so I'm glad he did.
Oh, Pete Bingham, you are a continuous source of entertainment whilst broadcasting. We will go back and have a look at that shortly. But that has dropped him down to 8th position. Let's just have a quick look where it all went wrong. Has he tried a surprise send down the outside, or has he just got it totally wrong?
I think he saw an opportunity, but he missed his brake marker.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah. By a while as well.
And in his defense, it's quite hard when like 4 or 5 cars or 3 cars are in front of you to see your brake marker. You have to back off a little bit.
Okay, let's have a look back down in the pack. So that's Pete trying to recover. He's got Marcus Neal in front of him. But 2 fantastic battles up the front. This one for 3rd and 4th, and you can see in the distance the battle for 1st and 2nd is still on.
Yeah, it seems like they grouped up in pairs, and I think that this is what we're gonna expect for this race. We see Team Chimera driver Simon Trendo, XVR driver Johnny Brandon combined together, and right behind them Wayne Sanderson for running for XVR, and Jamie completely missed his brake marker, overshot and got into the gravel.
Yeah,
what happened there?
That's gonna drop him right back. Rob Venn.
What's on the side of his car? Brendan's.
Well,
what?
I was just going to say, if I remember rightly, there is something going on with their cars, but...
Yeah, so there's small Donington logos on it. I know that.
Yeah, then there's... is that the Panini?
That's the Panini, mate.
The car view is just not very good. We'll have to see what we can do about that.
I'm in iRacing too, so let me check real quick what's on it.
Brandon's Bistro, there you go.
Brandon's Bistro, yeah, that's a good one. That's a nice touch. Yes.
That. Right, so let's have a look because we've got a little bit of action to catch up on. So Rob Venn went off track and then ended up in the pits. So what happened to Rob Venn? And was it a
Rob
car
in the purple car, right?
Incident. Yeah, Rob's purple. He's on the grass. Nothing major there.
Nothing major yet.
Okay.
Okay.
He looks a bit slow.
Maybe he lost force feedback?
Yeah, could be. Could be.
And
Looks
that's
like a
Pete.
technical issue, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was the thing we saw live where Pete tried to overtake. I think Stefan Goebel.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's
So,
Jet 74? Is that Stefan?
we haven't
Or is that
got
Marcus
74.
New?
Yeah. So Rob's got technical issues there. Let's see what happened to Jamie. I think
Yeah,
we
so
called-
Oh.
Boo.
Boo. Boo.
Boo.
SDK.
Let's try this one. Let's go back a bit. I think you called it correct. I think he just missed his brake marker.
Yeah, or he clipped the grass on the left. Somehow. Oh, they're completely.
No, he's
locked
had
up
to
here.
check up there, or take Wayne Sanderson out. So
Yeah, I think he did a good job though to keep the car rolling instead of putting it sideways.
yeah, I think Rob Ben is still having technical issues because he's on and off track more than Pete. Pete has recovered back to 6th, but after all that, Adam Wright is up to 4th, and the stealth ninja himself, Sam Boozin, has got himself up to 5th. He's our biggest mover at the moment.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of him, and if I take a quick peek at the lap times, I definitely see that Johnny and Simon are on the faster end of the lap times. But Adam and Wayne, they are matching each other. So they are in contention for a good fight as well. Looking at Sam and Pete, either Pete had a really bad lap time or either Sam had a really good lap time. Because Sam is like over a second quicker than Pete is. But looking at how they qualified, I would say that Pete is going to be able to get to Sam.
Well, this is Stefan and Pete. This is the closest battle on track apart from the one that we was looking at. I'm going to hazard a guess that Stefan is possibly a bit quicker than Pete.
Are you sure about that? Because I think that Pete just overtook him. Could it? I'm wrong. Wait, let me check.
We have also it's the gaps. I'm just looking at the gaps. The gaps are going out a little bit.
No, you're right. I think that Stefan is actually a little.
Yeah, JB Dejoux was right up behind Marcus Neal. Alan Toon is up there with this battle as well. We'll keep an eye out for that, but we'll watch this one at present. Although the front battle is getting really close as well. Can you all stop doing this, please?
Stop racing each other, that would be lovely.
Can we just have a procession?
So we can just drink our beers, enjoy a couple of cars going on track. And you see that Simon's gonna get a run on the left-hand side because he took the chicane really quick, and I think he startled Johnny a little bit, but it looks like Simon has a slowdown. That's why he was so quick through that.
Yeah, we need to be a little bit more F1, please, and slow down a little bit and just.
He just got past. Stefan just passed speed, and I think he got a slow down as well.
He did. Let's have a look at that overtake because we was busy trying to look at other battles.
Oh no, he had a moment. He had a moment at the exit. He got through the chicanes pretty good, and then just his rear touched the grass and just almost sent it wide, and then Stefan said, "Thank you."
Yeah, he actually did well not to end up in the pit lane, to be honest.
Oh, do you remember the race where Pete just drove completely past his pit lane?
Yeah.
It was the same race.
JB Dejoux is putting a lot of pressure on Marcus Neal at the moment.
Yeah, they seem to be having fun, and there's battles all over the place again. We got the battle between Johnny and Simon, with at the end getting a slowdown and still only 0.3 seconds behind him. And then we had the battle between Stefan and Pete, which now got broken up because Pete decided to park his right rear on the grass, which gave Stefan an open run. And then we got this battle going on, JB and Marcus, and they're doing exactly similar lap times. They're doing an 18.2 and an 18.1, so there's nothing in it between them.
Yeah, we'll concentrate. Oh God, no, we won't, because every time I look somewhere else, that
He'd be
happens.
taking the outside line, and I think he did. It almost looks like he did a good overtake, but it almost looks like that Marcus did the same thing Pete did, and then it's me taking note of that without seeing what happened.
Yeah, I expect JB Dejoux may drive away from Marcus. We'll have to wait and see. Let's get back to the front, and
Yeah.
let's get the. Okay, so the track map doesn't want to work, so let's hit that button. And there you go. God, I'm good. Right, so we can see where everybody is. Let's get on the nose of Simon Trendle for a lap and see just how close he comes to Johnny Brandon.
Yeah, and it's all about taking, and we discussed this many times before, it's all about taking and carrying as much speed as you possibly can. It's a momentum car. Once you slow down too hard with the low horsepower, you lose everything you have. It's all about the being as smooth as you possibly can. And we see that Johnny's a little bit tighter on that corner compared to Simon. And you can definitely tell that he's gaining on him just because he took a wider line on that. And he's all over this bumper. Are we going to see the overtake? But Johnny is on the right hand side, and the next corner is going to be a right hander. Going up at least, they're still side by side. And then moving up towards Coppice. And then you see that they're taking the short line. It's even. It just gives you the slight end of the advantage because you are on the dirty bits, on the marbles, which pushes you left. And if I look at this battle, to be honest, guys, I think and I feel that Simon has a little bit more pace compared to Johnny.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, but it's can he do something about it? That's the issue. Let's watch this same battle, but let's watch it back to Simon Trendle for this lap.
And it might be that Johnny is just quick on the parts where you have to be quick, but to be honest, Clyde, if you look behind Simon, I just saw a hinge of him. You see Wayne Sanders.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. There's a car creeping up in the background, and it's Wayne Sanderson.
And he's doing a really fine job to keeping up with the well, I don't like the word aliens. They're just good drivers. But he's doing a really good job to keep up with the quick drivers at this league. He's only a second behind them, like compared to Johnny. So that means that he's within a second of Simon Trendle. And now Simon is got to think about, if I'm going to do a move, am I going to sacrifice everything to maybe be vulnerable for an attack of Wayne?
Yeah, I think Pete Bingham's about to lose another position as well.
Oh, I like that.
He's got
But
a fast charging Jamie Wilson up behind him. Obviously, both drivers recovering from missing their brake markers.
But if Jamie is gonna pass Pete, you know who's gonna be on pole, right?
Oh dear, yeah, that's not going to end well, is it?
No, he's gonna. I used to make the joke like he's off to Donington. So which track do we pick this week?
Just so that you know, I don't know if you're watching the chat, but evening to Tony Walker, who says, Wobbly's favourite track.
Oh, yes.
And Lane O'Connor, in response to your you don't want to call Johnny Brandon an alien, says he does look like an alien.
Oh yeah, so that's what I saw already. But I mean his eyes are poking out to the left hand side, and his right eye is looking into the left. But
oh. Well, we saw it live, but let's have another look at it because it is funny. How to Snatch Defeat from the Jaws of Victory by Pete Bingham.
It's this is well, I mean, you know how I like to bash on Pete, you know that. But in his defense, like, he's always doing a really good job until he isn't. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? He's doing a really fine job. He can drive like an endurance, for example. a year ago, we were doing endurance. I was coaching him through that, helping him fuel save, and he was doing a really fine job until he didn't. You know?
Yeah, look, this is getting close now. Yeah, I think Pete is getting some not too bad results, but if he could just cut out the errors, he could be up there challenging for podiums, which is a really weird statement.
Although if he, that's what I'm trying to mention. He's doing a fine job getting the car in P4 in qualifying, which is a really good job. Let's be honest, it's a really good job. But then he does something completely weird and ends up on the outer ring of the Nürburgring, you know?
Yeah, maybe he's still at Snetterton. We never know. But this is getting interesting now. With 4.5 minutes to go, Simon Trendle he desperately wants to put a move on Johnny Brandon. He's going to have to go offline to try a move, and Wayne Sanderson is there now. So it puts Simon in a real tricky position, doesn't it?
It definitely does. And I think that Simon is doing everything in his power to force the issue, trying to sweat the issue through. It's hard being in front of someone. It's hard being behind someone, but it's way harder to defend than to attack, because like if you don't get past him, no harm is done.
Yeah.
But if you make a small mistake, you are literally running a fine line between am I going to do a defensive line? Am I going to I did going a little bit wide, but I think he carried the speed for that one. So sorry, something on the cam, and I was like, oh, maybe he has a small opportunity. But defending and trying to keep up the pace, there's more tension to it. Like you feel the pressure and you feel the sweat, you feel it through your bones, and these drivers they take these races. They don't always admit it, but they take it very seriously. Hey, that's a good line. That's a good line. There's a possibility on the first corner to go on the outside. You know that, Clyde.
Yeah, I do. I certainly do. I've seen it many, many times, but you've got to hang it out round there all the way. Oh.
I can see what Johnny's doing. He let out the gas a little bit, the front of it a little bit, just to be sure that he didn't get an advantage of that paint straight.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
Yeah, he obviously the curb bounced him out. I think that ruined Simon's run. Mike Frost on the chat says Pete needs to stop looking in the rear mirror. Believe me, he won't be looking for cars. He'll probably be checking his lipstick. And I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, probably looking in the rearview mirror. Mike says he never had to. He just crashed from lack of talent. But I'd like to see Mike in this series, because I think there's people for him to race against in this series. I know he's got a rift issue, so let's hope he can get that sorted out. We've got 2 minutes to go. So they're going to get this lap, and they're going to get another lap, and I think that'll be it.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be 2 laps. And if Simon is not going to be able to, and he's showing his nose everywhere, like he's trying to force the issue and hitting the curb just as Johnny did when he standing wide a little bit, and still Wayne Sanders is still in there. If these two somehow collide, it's all Wayne's pickings. He's far away enough to avoid the crash. Oh, he's not far away enough to crash. Did he catch it? Where is he?
Did he? No, I think he held it.
And now Adam Wright passed him, and Adam Wright's going for a podium. He's been completely invisible this race, but he's doing a good job, apparently.
Let's just have a quick look at what happened to Wayne there. That looks really weird. The car just suddenly jumped sideways. A bit of grass there. Oh yeah, I think he just got a little bit of grass there on the left hand side. That was enough to put him on the icy Donington grass. So, back to this lead battle. You can see Barney in the background was waving the white flag. So, last chance saloon for Simon Trendle.
Yeah, and is he gonna do a last ditch effort, or is he gonna be
no pressure from behind now?
You're completely right, Clyde. Or is he gonna accept that he's not gonna pass Johnny on this race? Oh, but it looks like he's still feisty for that one.
I don't think that's in Simon's vocabulary.
And again, is he trying to do the cutback? But I think that the inside, it feels like the way Johnny is driving, as I said, he's quick enough on the bits where he needs to be quick. So he's good on the exit of McLean's. He's good on the exit of Redgate, and everything else is Simon territory.
Yeah, maybe. I think he's too far for a lunge into the chicane.
It's never too late to do a lunge. Maybe. I mean, I've seen someone lose at this one in the last chicane.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was, but.
Me neither.
I think they lost by something like 1,000th of a second. But
yeah, 4,000th of a second, I remember.
Your race winner for round 13 is Johnny Brandon. Simon Trendle chased him all the way. And Adam Wright somewhat gifted a podium, but I'm sure he will accept that. Other cars still crossing the line. JB Dejoux in 9th. Marcus Neal chased... oh no, that's Rob Venn behind him, who's a lap down. We think he had technical issues. Alan Toon now coming down the back straight into the chicane. He will be the last car to cross the line.
They all did an amazing job, to be honest, Clyde. Wow, that's not entirely true. Pete didn't really do an amazing job, and sorry for Jamie, but you didn't really do an amazing job as well. You did a good job of keeping it out of the wall.
Yes, and to be honest, that's an art in itself. So here is your official result. So first place for Johnny Brandon, XVR, chased all the way by second place Simon Trendle, Team Chimera. Adam Wright tops off the podium for BSTV Esports 2. Wayne Sanderson came home fourth, should have been a podium, but just the slightest of error. XVR Oz, fifth, the ninja himself, Sam Boozin, BSTV Esports 2. Stefan Goebel in sixth for VTS Esports. Jamie Wilson, seventh, Team Chimera. Eighth was Pete Bingham, BSTV Esports 3. JB Dejoux, very feisty tonight, in ninth for BSTV Esports. Marcus Neal in 10th for WKG Motorsport. Alan Toon, 11th, who's a privateer. And Rob Venn with what we think is technical issues in 12th for BSTV Esports. But you was right, you called it wobbly. Pete Bingham's going to be on pole for race 2.
Yeah, so we got to be first 8, and again, and we keep mentioning this, we mentioned this now several times through the broadcast, if Pete doesn't do stupid things, he is...
Not happening.
If Pete doesn't do stupid things, again, if he doesn't do that, then he's going to be able to reel in the win, I'm sure of it. But he's got to stop doing stupid things.
Yeah, so just looking out my man cave window, and a couple of pigs have just flown past. You know, I know that's silly, but Wobbly started it. So cracking race 1, looking forward to race 2. So whilst we have a small break and refill our glasses, let's show you what else goes on in BSTV World. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those videos. Big shout out to Adam Wright that created all of the videos that you've seen tonight. I don't think he gets enough love for the wizardry that he manages to produce for us. And if you're interested in racing in any of our series, obviously Clios are every Friday, TCRs are every Wednesday, and the Mighty V8s are every other Saturday. So, Wobbly, we are coming to the end of the warm-up session. Some drivers take to the track, some just use it for a rest. But do you really think Pete Bingham can win a race?
Yeah, so me and Clyde were talking about this, and we kept going out in a circle. He did a really good job. He did a really good qualifying, but it's Pete Bingham. He's gonna make a mistake. No, he can't. He did a really good job. Really good qualifying, but it's Pete Bingham. He's gonna make a mistake, you know. And if he stops making those mistakes, like it's gonna break that circle, then he's gonna be able, and I'm gonna tell it, then he's gonna be able to win this race. But he's got to stop making the mistakes.
Well, I think Pete's only chance of winning this race is a massive pile-up at the back of the field that takes 20 minutes to sort out.
He's gotta stop fighting himself. That's what he's got to do.
I totally agree. I've known Mr. Bingham for many years on different racing games, and nobody puts as much pressure on Pete as Pete. And I think Mike was right. And earlier on when he says he's got to stop looking in the rearview mirror, he's right. He's got to look forwards, concentrate on going forwards, and take it from there and see where he can get to. So. Wobbly will extend the grid, and I will try and bring up your starting grid, and that definitely isn't it, and that's not going to be it either, but that might be. There we go, got there eventually. So your pole sitter, now you might want to pause, rewind, and make sure I said this correctly, is Pete Bingham for BSTV Esports 3. Second, Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera. Going off third, Stefan Goebel, VTS Esports. Fourth, Sam Boozin, BSTV Esports 2. And fifth, Wayne Sanderson, XVR Oz. Sixth, Adam Wright, BSTV Esports 2. Seventh, Simon Trendle, Team Chimera. And Race 1 winner Johnny Brandon for XVR goes off in 8th. JB Dejoux goes off 9th for BSTV Esports. Marcus Neal 10th for WKG Motorsport. Privateer Alan Toon goes off 11th. And Rob Venn for BSTV Esports goes off 12th. So, let's get rid of that. I don't want that either. Why are you all coming up with things that I don't want?
I think this is one of the most tense things in starting a race. I always try to avoid it a little bit and try to grid as late as you possibly can. But just getting on the grid and waiting for the others to join, and you see that timer going down like 10 seconds, okay, 9 seconds, okay, the lights are coming up. But that period before the lights are there is one of the most tense feelings you have during a sim race, because you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to lose positions.
I'm one of these. I like to get on the grid early, and then I have a mental checklist to go through, which then I forget what I'm doing halfway through and go through it again and again and again and again, and then usually get the start wrong. But anyway, lights are coming on. We're going green for race 2. We are away. Actually, a good start from Pete.
It's a really good start from Pete, and right behind you see Jamie, who showed really good pace as well. You see Stefan going out on the inside, just having a small look with Sam Using following in right. It's going a little bit wide, Sam Using, and it opens up the door for Wayne Sanderson maybe, who already shown as well. He has got really good pace, but they all line up single file, but just right behind them Adam and Simon Trendle are going side by side, and how are they gonna end up? Oh, and we see Johnny overtaking Adam, and Adam's getting forced right a little bit, like a little bit wide. Is he gonna consolidate on that one, or is Johnny having the better run? Again, you see Johnny going on the right-hand side, going to McLean's, and then we saw that Johnny is really good at defending that, and Simon's making a really good move, and Adam seems to be holding on that left-hand side, Clyde.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. It does, as we saw in the first race, it looks like Johnny Brandon certainly knows how to defend around here. I am just going to switch to this just in case. No, Jamie's not going to make a lunge. But yeah, Adam is a lot of air time there for Adam.
He doesn't need a car, he needs an aeroplane. Hello to Alex on the chat, by the way.
Jamie Wilson must be thinking, do you know what? If I can just get past Pete and disappear into the distance before Johnny and Simon get through.
But it's already proven that it's quite hard to overtake in these cars on Donington.
Yes.
Again, and that's one of the most fun characteristics of Donington. It's in a fast car, there's a lot of opportunities, but in a slow car, that's Sam boozing.
It's Sam, yes, you're right.
I thought it was Pete for a second.
Yeah, so no, I thought it was Adam, but no.
And that's the smally touch and trading paints, and now Adam got a good run and win as well, and now it's Johnny colliding up, and now Adam is completely lost it, going to the Nürburgring just as Pete did. And then a little bit of blimping going on, and
that's Wayne, isn't it? Johnny got through. Adam is still chasing Johnny.
Quite surprised how fast
look at this,
Adam got out of that. JB just overtook Wayne Sanderson, but they turned around again, and now Wayne overtook JB again. So there's definitely going some side-by-side action right there. And now it looks like Jamie has the run on Pete. Is he able to defend it on the inside? Jamie gonna get a really good slingshot around the outside corner, getting a better exit speed there. But now there's a right-hander coming down. So is Pete gonna be able to capitalize on that again? We're going to old hairpin, and now Pete is holding back, which is forcing Stefan Goebel to end up in his rear bumper.
Yeah, Jamie Wilson got that position. We know what a hard charger Stefan is, but look, Simon Trendle's got himself up into the mix already.
Simon already got past Stefan. That is amazing driving.
Three cars in a row.
Oh, and I see Marcus Neal. It's trying to make a free ride right behind those guys. Oh, it almost got it done on Rob Fenn and JB. That was amazing. He saw an opportunity and he's like, I'm going for this one. He had to back out eventually, but a really smart move to show his nose in there just to get a hinge of the fighting what's going on.
Simon Trendle got on Pete there. You can just see Pete on the right hand side.
And this is the outside overtaking opportunity we were talking about the first race as well. If you get the outside speed, you're able to hold on all the way through the Corona curves, and then you're able to get to McLean's to old hairpin with a better angle.
Here's my fear for Pete: it's not going to get any easier, because next in line is Stefan Goebel, next in line is Johnny Brandon, next in line is Adam Wright. How far is he going to drop back? How rough is he going to be in his defence?
Oh, and do you remember we having this conversation last week where we were talking about are Jamie and Simon are they gonna do a multi 21? Because in this situation where Simon is ahead of Pete, you see Johnny Brandon being in 5th position and Simon in 2nd. With Simon having a lot of overspeed on Pete, are they gonna swap around?
Well, this is on Adam Wright's nose, and you can see.
That's Stefan going wide and killing Johnny, I think. Johnny's into the wall, and his suspension is completely gone.
That is it for Johnny.
Stefan instantly apologized on the radio chat as well.
It looked like one of those bounces off of the curb there. But I think that all started. Was it back here? Yes. So Stefan went in hot, bounced off the curb into Johnny. Johnny's on that grass, and there ain't no stopping it once she's on the grass.
Yeah. Again, Stefan recognized he was in the wrong there, and Johnny was about to say something in the radio chat, but I think he swallowed it.
Yeah, I feel for both of the drivers there. Stefan was in hot and offline, and the curbs around here are vicious. And when he went into Johnny, he was just a passenger. But yeah, we don't like to see that. But from a championship position,
from a championship of position, it's quite interesting to see whether Jamie and Simon are gonna swap around or not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or I suppose we'll get to see just how serious they're taking the championship, won't we?
I think, yeah, you're right. I mean, if it's like, oh, it's just a arrive and drive, I'll get second position in the championship, I'm fine with that. We'll see today.
Well, Simon has got to catch him first. I think the next battle on track is going to be Adam Wright and Pete Bingham.
Yeah, and there's also a good battle going on a little bit further back between Marcus, Neil, and Rob Fenn.
Yeah, I was just trying to work out what happened with Sam, because he's quite a way back. But this is what I can find, which is quite near the start, probably lap 1, maybe 2. I think he's got a little error coming up. Yeah, just sailed it off wide again, and because it's the start of the race, a train of cars goes past. Although,
JB got a slowdown, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sam has just passed JB. Let's have a quick look at this, see what happened.
Oh, that's a weird move.
Genuine.
It's a weird move. I think he just let him go. It still looks weird though, because I know that JB was mentioning having issues with his force feedback. But it was yesterday or the day before that.
Right, so the battles are going to heat up, folks. Lee Bowden is asking the most important question, which revolves around cake, and I'm sad to say no cake has passed my lips tonight yet.
What? How dare she?
I know. It's, it's bordering on divorce, if I'm honest. However, it's only a couple of weeks until she disappears to Ireland for 10 days. And that's when my cheesecake diet starts.
But are you going to rebuild your rig then?
No.
Oh, okay. That's a fair answer, I guess. No.
No, to be honest, I'm thoroughly enjoying broadcasting again. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to racing or not. Adam Wright.
Like going to retire? That's the first one.
Yeah, Adam Wright got past Pete Bingham.
Did he?
A mistake from Pete, yeah.
Oh, he did the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Only he did. He saved it a little bit better.
Well, yeah, he didn't have a car and he's outside, did he? So.
No, he didn't.
So let's have a look. Oh, holy schmoly! I think I just missed that. So let's quickly go back and look at Rob Venn making a move on Marcus Neal. Hopefully, Rob's issues are behind him.
Oh, that looked like Marcus felt like a little bit of understeer going into
Yeah.
the corner and had to do like a confidence lift. Which gave Rob the opportunity to stick it down the inside.
Okay. Okay. So, things are still happening. Adam Wright, Pete Bingham, Wayne Sanderson.
Oh,
What's-
Wayne is.
Adam's
Yeah.
got to slow
Oh,
down.
slow down. Yes. And that's unfortunate because I was, and I'll admit this, I was gonna vote for Adam and driver of the meeting, but now he did this. I am unsure.
Yeah. So, 2 for 1 for Wayne Sanderson. Although, they're still at it.
This seems like a three-way battle, and Simon, it seems that he's having a really hard time catching up with Jamie. He was slower last lap actually than Jamie was, and the fastest lap is not Johnny's name, but the fastest lap of the drivers currently driving is on Jamie's name. Oh, Pete doesn't care about corners. What's Adam? He doesn't care about chicanes. He's the bigger man. He is like, I don't need chicanes in my life. I'll just go straight on.
So another little battle going on here. Sam boozing at the back, Marcus Neal, and then Rob Ben in the front. So Sam boozing looking for a little bit of a recovery after his mistake at the start.
Yeah, and it's, I want to say un-Sam-like, but that's not entirely true, but it's un-Sam-like in this league to make a mistake like that.
Yeah, as we've said, he's been that stealth driver, hasn't he, that we don't get to look at very often because he's not really doing anything spectacular, but then you look at the result at the end and you're like, oh, didn't realise he was up there.
Yeah, a bit like Stefan Goebel this race. We haven't seen much of him. We saw him pressure Pete in the first race, which eventually led to Stefan passing him. But suddenly you came like in 5th or 6th or something. And now this race, he's already up to 6th again, without having any camera footage on him at any time.
Well, just to prove he's there, there he is.
There he is.
Back to the battle.
This is what I meant. And it looks like Pete has a good run on Stefan now, though. Is that Pete?
No,
That's not Pete.
this is Marcus and Sam.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Marcus went defensive very early.
I apologize for him because I'm completely colorblind, which doesn't help. Because I can't see the difference between the cars, like on the BSTV cars. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Sam putting Marcus under all sorts of pressure. Marcus handling it well at the moment.
Yeah, this turns out to be a really nice battle between those guys. Similar pace race drivers. Probably Samuel is a little bit quicker. But it seems that Marcus is having the exits of the corners completely dialed down. So now he's heading up to McLean's, and it seems like he's having a better entry. And I think that Sam, it looks like he's having a better exit. So now he's going to be vulnerable for the attack on the chicane. Is he able to? It's a far way back, though. Is he? He's there's no chance in doing that. And now it's all about on the exit again. And it looks like Sam had a really good run, and Marcus with a little bit wide, but he's not giving up on this. He's putting his foot down, trying to get in front of Sam. Sam thought about cutting back to the right-hand side, but eventually he didn't. And now they're going side by side for the first corner. They're leaving a lot of room between each other, which is really nice driving. Barely Marcus is hanging in there, trying to keep through the corona curves, trying to get to Old Hairpin, and now he's on the dirty bits of the track, and he's still keeping his nose at his right, and now he's trying to outbrake as Sam cuts his nose. There's a little bit of netcode there, and which forces Marcus to get through again and hold the position at the moment.
How to do half a lap side by side. So
amazing driving by both of them.
When this sorts itself out, I think Alan Toon has had an issue. Yeah, let's just have a quick catch up. So what happened to Alan?
I have a small question, Clyde. I don't know if you've thought about this. Did you, because Johnny fell out of the championship of the race, how is that gonna eventually end up on the team championship?
Yeah, you're right. Johnny Brandon did join the track again, but it says he's had a crash, but we know what SDK is like. It might just be a pulling off to the side of the road, which is what it looks like. So, okay.
Simon and Jamie are really close, by the way.
We watched the battle, and I think this may be them going side by side. Yes, sorry, we've already seen that bit live. This battle is still going on, and this battle is now going on.
So now the remaining question is, because we are almost at the end of the race, we don't see Barney waving his white flag, so we got 2 laps left. That's why I suspect.
Yeah, we might get 3. 3
Is
minutes to go now.
And now it's all about bragging rights, because that's how those guys are. Big egos. They don't want to consolidate. They want to race, and they want to win the race. And I see Sam trying to make a move on Marcus. Marcus locking up his rear. And Simon is almost locking up his rear behind Jamie.
Yeah,
and now it's Sam. No, just information. Sam passed Marcus in a super fair move.
Oh, sorry. There was a twitch there from Jamie. I don't know whether that was contact. Tony Walker asking if we're going to get another blue on blue. You never know.
With these two, and with what was it again on the side of the car? Johnny's, Brandon's Panini's?
Bistro.
Brandon's Bistro. So they got sponsored by him right now. So if they gonna do a blue on blue, that's gotta be a paid one.
Okay, so a little bit of room there. Let's have a look at the move that Sam managed to make on Marcus.
He took a dive down the
inside. Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Took a dive down the inside, forced Marcus to lock up a little bit because he forced the issue there.
Yeah.
Just by putting his nose in that position, it put Marcus off, as it seems. But Sam made a mistake just now, and he's now back behind JB, I think. He's back behind JB and
right,
Marcus.
He is.
He went wide on the exit of the chicane. Well, just for your information, we're still following this battle between Simon and Jamie, which is amazing. But further back down the field, there's also a lot of battles. Look at how close Simon is putting his car, and now it's a difficult bit. Is he gonna force this one, or are you gonna wait just that little bit, that little sniff, and force the issue on the last lap?
Yeah, they're gonna get the white flag this time round.
Definitely, and building up the tension for that as well. And he's giving a look, and he's pulling every trick of the book, trying to force Jamie to make a small mistake.
Well, he's done well there.
That's not... Is it the white flag?
Yeah, it's the white flag, yeah.
Barney waved it so tenaciously. I don't know what's happening.
It did look like a checkered flag, I'll give you that. I did look up at the clock and I thought, no, that's too early.
I think that there's no team orders in place here, Clyde.
I think you're right, and I think what we need to do is watch it from here.
Yeah, this is an amazing view of how tense this is, and you can see by just how Simon is hitting that grass. He's giving it everything, trying to get that extra mile an hour through that corner. A little bit of counter steering going on there. And again, a little bit more wide than he usually would. trying to find all the pace he possibly can, trying to cut back to the inside, and now with the last run ditch effort, I know how this feels being the front runner car. You can still mess this up, and it looks like Simon has a really good run, and he's going for it. He's gonna put his car on the right hand side, and you see Jamie going on the left, and they're going through the corner side by side, and oh, it's Jamie with a better exit. It's going to force Simon a little bit right, and oh, I think it's gonna be for Jamie this one. It's the last ditch sprint to the race, to the line, and there they go, and oh, it's Jamie winning before Simon Trenner behind him, Wayne Sanderson getting a really good result. That was amazing. Oh, don't have any breath left.
JB Dejoux, he's not going to get a run there. Sam Boozin, done all the hard work, made a mistake. And Alan Toon is ploughing a field.
Well, at least we know that bit of the track is as well as plowed. We saw very few of Alan today, and I think that's unfortunate because I think it's a track he likes. Sam just blew up his engine, by the way. But I think it's a track he likes, but Alan is the type of driver who needs a lot of hours on a track with a certain car, and with an MX-5 I'll be sure that he was doing a top 5, top 6 finish.
Yeah, I think in Alan's defence, and I may have said this before, I think he basically jumped straight out of one series and straight into this series.
Yes. Yeah.
But he loves this car. Obviously he likes our leagues. So we are, the league is better for having him in it.
I would like Alan.
Right. Let's see if I can. I'm sure it's that button and that button. Yeah, boy. So, hang on. I just want to do that. And then I want to do that. That looks better. So, your race 2 winner, round 14, Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. Teammate Simon Trendle, another second place. Wayne Sanderson gets himself on the podium in third for XVR Oz. Adam Wright, fourth, BSTV Esports 2. Pete Bingham finished his race from pole position into fifth position. Could have been a lot worse, could have been a lot better. BSTV Esports 3. Stefan Goebel in sixth for VTS Esports. Rob Venn looked like he got his technical problems sorted out. In seventh for BSTV Esports. Who is that pushing who? That is Alan.
That's Alan.
Pushing Sam.
That's Alan pushing Sam. Yeah, Sam blew his engine.
Marcus Neal in eighth for WKG Motorsport. JB Dejoux ninth for BSTV Esports. Sam Boozing in 10th for BSTV Esports 2. Alan Toon, Privateer in 11th. And Johnny Brandon for XVR rounds out your field in 12th. So we had drama in that one, Wobbly, and we know that that's going to affect the championships. But I suppose ultimately, yes, it was Stefan's fault, but it was a genuine racing incident, wasn't it?
I think it's one of those things where, like being in Stefan's situation, you feel that you're going into a corner, you feel like I'm having this, and then halfway through the corner, you notice that you're carrying too much speed, and then you're trying to compensate for that by putting in more steering angle, which only makes it worse, but it's a natural reaction which we all have. And it forced him on the curb a little bit more wide than he wanted to. Yes, if I would be an FIA steward, I would blame Stefan. But I'm not an FIA steward. I'm a sim racer as well. And I would just say, it's just bad luck. And you're in the wrong. And you say, sorry, I can't say that. As you say, I effed up. And that's it. That's all you can do.
Totally agree. And you put it to bed and you go at it again next week. Right. Nobody wants an interview at the moment. That's good. Should we
Oh,
close
that's
the
lovely.
broadcast quickly and get away
Good
with
night. Everybody, thank you for watching. I already got my drive for the meeting. I've got it ready if you want it.
Right, okay. So, just while we're waiting for the Super Vane drivers, next week we go to our second flyaway race, which is, you'll say this a lot better than me, and I'm going to say Rudskogen.
Rich Guggen.
What do you reckon, Wobbly?
I
think that's going to
I
be
love that.
monster fun.
I did a race on that, and when the Clios came out, I did 2 races on that one, and one is on the broadcast from Jimmy Broadbent. I had a fight with him for like a couple of laps in a row, and it's this like I think that they make they made that specifically for the Clio. It's amazing to drive on. You have a lot of grip. You feel like you're in control the whole time. There's a little bit of twitching going on to the, I think that's turn 4 or turn 3, going downhill like a really sharp right-hander or sweeping right-hander, and you lose all the mechanical grip you have. And it's all about how much guts do you have? How much are you willing to sacrifice on the entry? But how much feeling do you have with the car? And I think a driver like Simon, and maybe a driver like Pete, if he stops making mistakes, again, Pete, stop making mistakes, then they are going to do a really good job. But it's a technical track.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And to be honest, I think we've got 3 absolute crackers coming up with Rudskogen, Knock Hill Reverse, and then Brands Hatch Indy. But we've got drivers starting to appear in the booth, so I am going to bring in, first off, our race 1 winner, Johnny Brandon. Welcome to the booth.
Hello.
How
Hello.
the devil are you? Oh, no, I don't want to know how you are. I want to know if you got a free coffee and a free panini.
I did last week, not this week.
Excellent. Well, the Chimera boys did pay homage to that on their cars tonight.
I was just talking to them. I said it took me a little while to click what that was all about. Is that Brandon's Bistro?
Yeah. So, race 1. Very similar to a lot of the races that we've had in this series. Looked like you went out in qualifying, did a fast lap, and either thought, can't be bothered to do any more, let's see if I can negotiate a free breakfast, or that one's quick enough, beat it if you can. Whichever one of those is correct, it doesn't matter. But you and Simon giving it everything for 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I normally, because I'm doing my stream, which you watch. Thank you very much. Then once I put a decent lap in quali, as long as I'm in the top 3 or 4, then I'm happy, and I start on my stream and share it about and everything else for the second half of quali. So I was quite surprised I was still there, to be honest. I know it was a decent lap, but I thought Simon would get it. And then the race was just 20 minutes of non-stop pressure and battling, which is what we want.
Yeah, you seem to, especially round here, I'm going to say most tracks, but especially here, it looked like you had an uncanny knack of being able to put your car in the right place just to stop those runs that Simon got. I'm guessing it's, there's not a great deal you don't know about Donington. You probably led many races round here, and that's what you've learned as you've gone along.
Not really. It's just general racecraft, isn't it? The defending, you put your car in the right place. It's Simon's really good at it. They were showing that to me last week. You put your car in the right place, it's very difficult. And although it's quite a good track, it's actually really hard to overtake round here. You have to, I think it's just the car, I'm beginning to realise now. You sort of have to get a run on someone and set them up from one corner to the next to be able to overtake. And then even then, you've got you've got to have such a run to actually get it done. Otherwise, they just sit next to you for the whole lap. So yeah, I knew it was going to be tricky to overtake unless you make a mistake. So yeah, I was just trying to place the car in the right sort of places, and luckily that worked out for me. I thought he had me a couple of times, and I just got away with it.
It certainly was close. And then race 2, obviously a lot of slicing and dicing at the start, as we tend to see in these races. And then I'm going to call it an uncharacteristic mistake from Stefan. And we see a number of people smash that curb. And the car bounces out to the right, and I think every other incident we saw with somebody doing that, there wasn't a car on the right hand side and they got away with it. But unfortunately on that occasion you was on the right hand side and you didn't get away with it.
Yeah, it had to go wrong sooner or later, didn't it? Can't keep winning everything, and it's just one of those things. I was right behind him. I saw him missed it on the way in, like the first part of the chicane, and went straight over on the outside. And normally, like if that's me, you don't bother going over the massive red curb again. You just go left and straight line it and take your penalty.
Take your slow down.
I went through expecting him to be going straight on, and by the time I realised he wasn't going straight on and saw him in the air by my left-hand window, it was too late.
Yeah, like you say, you know, it's one of those things, and yeah, I think you're right. You know, I'm not saying your wins are lucky, but you know, sometimes your luck does run out, and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you get collected.
Yeah, I could have stamped on the brakes and been a lot more cautious, but then I had I think it was Adam behind me. You know, that's risky because he might have hit me up the back, and like I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So we are going to Wintergatan next. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, somebody playing Street Fighter or something in the background there.
That did actually sound like that, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been practicing on that. I also did a voice for that, for the new one.
But
I'm too old for the new one.
It's gonna be a cracking track for these cars, isn't it?
Don't know. It's a very different track to what we've been doing. So
yeah,
you know, I think it might be a bit big, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I just looked at the schedule whilst I was waiting for the interview room to populate, and Wintergatan, Knock Hill Reverse, and then
Knock Hill Reverse will be
Indy.
great. Brands Hatch Indy, great, perfect tracks. You know, anybody can win. Wintergatan, yeah. It's almost the length of all the other tracks of the season put together, with as many corners as them all put together. So it'll be an interesting one. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be close again with me and Jamie and Simon, and possibly Wayne going on tonight's pace. And Adam was flying, so yeah, we'll see.
Wayne did very, very well. So before we let you go, any shout outs?
It's just the usual to you guys, you know, for doing this and putting this on. It's great fun. Most of it was great fun tonight. Yeah, it was great fun. And I tried to keep going, but it was just a complete waste of time.
We did notice.
And obviously, I need to thank the Chimera boys for advertising my calf, which is appreciated.
There you go.
And yeah, well done to Wayne. And luckily, I didn't take him out tonight, so we had a couple of good results.
Excellent. And what's happened to Darren?
Darren, I'm not sure.
Please tell me he's still got the ump with Pete.
I think he might have. I think he's still wandering around somewhere in northern England looking for his doorstep.
Excellent. Well, always a pleasure, Johnny. Congratulations on your win in race 1 and commiserations for the collection in race 2. And we'll see you next time out.
I might have a chance of Driver of the Night award, might I? Just saying.
Not
Anyway.
hoping.
No, because you stopped.
No, absolutely not. And on that note, goodbye.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's not happening. He didn't share the food. So, Wobbly,
Wow, he didn't email to me.
next up for you is race 2 winner, Jamie Wilson.
Well, hello, Jamie. So, I'll be honest. I expected fully that either Simon's gonna send it on you on the second race, or either you are gonna give it to him.
Well, not. I thought the same. Not in terms of me giving it to him out of choice, but out of a mistake or something. So, I've often found myself in that position of having not just Simon but anyone sort of behind me, and I'll make a mistake right at the last second and just screw myself out of a win.
Yeah,
I mean, not doing that.
Glad that we were talking about this. Like when Simon was behind Johnny, that it's so hard to have someone behind you, and it's way easier to attack.
Yeah, definitely, because they've got the toe as well, of course.
Yeah, and you don't feel the pressure. I mean, if you make a mistake while attacking, you're like, oh wow, I'll get it back to the toe.
Yeah, it's certainly, it had me sweating. There was a couple of laps there. I had just enough pace, just for it to be sort of viable for me to win anyway. Obviously, Simon had the pace advantage, but he had to be able to do something about it or something with it. So I just tried to kind of deny him as best I could by going as quick as I could. There was a couple of laps there where I had a bit of an average lap and Simon had like an amazing lap, and I was just watching the gap, like 0.8, 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, like that the whole time, basically.
Yeah, it looked to guys like you really were. Yeah, I think that Simon had a little bit more pace. I mean, as you mentioned, he did, but you did a really good job holding off a little bit quicker driver on this track. But the first race, what did you try? did you try to kill Wayne or what?
No. I'm gonna blame something that's available to be blamed, which is Wayne's slightly sketchy connection.
Okay, well, yeah, because
banding a little bit. I just have a slight lock. It's very similar to what Simon did to me actually at Snetterton. It's just the very slightest little lock up. You can't unlock it. That's it. At least I didn't kill him, unlike Simon with me last week. So
yeah, we still blame Simon for that. Don't worry about that. Overall, it looked like you had a really good result tonight. I mean, even when you got into the gravel, you got through the field. Like I think you regained like 3 positions again.
Yeah, there was some good racing actually getting up to there. We were 3 wide at one point coming out of the old hairpin, and hey, you gave me the opportunity to flash my lights at Pete and then pass him.
Oh, it was lovely,
so
mate.
I got to pass Pete twice.
Oh, that was the best thing ever.
Retribution that was for him out qualifying.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
Oh, I'm gonna ask your opinion about this though, because I kept telling Clyde, hey, if he stops making mistakes in this series, he's up with your pace.
Yeah, we joke about Pete obviously a lot because that's just, well, who wouldn't? But you're right, he genuinely did have pace. It's happened a few times. If you remember a few seasons ago in TCR at Phillip Island, he was around there.
Yeah, I remember that. That's one which I really massively outsaved Tyler with the fuel.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I think Pete has got a good handle on the car, apart from he's just not quite there with the brakes yet, which is understandable because the brakes are very difficult to get on top of. I noticed that when I was following him at the start of race 2. Because he's quite rightly, I think, scared of locking the car up, as anyone should be, case in point, me and Wayne. Yeah, he just hasn't got that kind of threshold of danger to get the most out of the brakes and not lock them up. That just comes with time. So he's definitely got the pace. He did very well tonight, I thought.
Yeah, and in all hindsight, mate, you did a really good job. Congratulations on your second race win for the season, if I'm correct.
Wow.
I remember this.
Can I get that like as an inspirational quote printed out and put it on my wall?
Yeah, and then my next inspirational quote is use your right foot more. If you ever think like I'm going slow, use your right foot more, then it's fine. Is there anybody you want to thank, for example, me or Brandon's Bistros?
Yeah, that's a point. Where's my panini?
Never mind that. Where's mine?
I never received one.
Exactly. I'm gonna get a soggy panini in the post, which does sound a bit like a euphemism. But anyway, Yeah, thanks to you guys, but not Wobbly, for putting it on and everything and commentating on it. I'm looking forward to watching this one back for obvious reasons. Again, congrats to Pete. Pete on pole, very unusual for race 2 as well. Don't normally get Pete on pole unless you go a certain place in up in the north, the dark alley on a Saturday. Yeah, thanks to everyone that turned up and always put on a bloody good race.
Good having you, mate. Congratulations, and looking forward to next week.
Cheers, guy.
Okay, so next up, let's bring in Mr. Simon Trendle. Welcome to the booth.
Oh, I'm ashamed.
And you should be, Simon.
I got beaten by Jamie. It's just,
I was going to say, yeah.
The only way it could have been worse is if Pete beat me.
It's unbearable. That the interview is over. Go back to your other channel.
Yes, shortest interview ever.
So let's talk about it then. Race 1. The usual suspects up there in first and second, especially after teammate Jamie decided to go off and plough some fields. We're seeing this a lot in this series. He's hard to pass, isn't he, Johnny? We see a couple of times where we thought you had a run on him. During Johnny's interview, even he admitted a couple of times he thought that you'd got him, but ultimately he's difficult in it. It's you're relying on him to make a mistake, and he doesn't make many.
The ones he was making were small because they were all at the last chicane, and that's why I was getting all the runs that I was having. But yeah, I mean the first few attempts I had, the tyres went up to temperature, and the car was trying to turn on me. And then but the problem is, Johnny's car seems to always hold on better than mine. It's very annoying. It seems to pick up pace in the middle of the race, which then means I'm relying on the draft, and it just means I have less and less opportunities. But yeah, it's good fun being as annoying as I can in the mirrors. I didn't get to do my usual red gate thing, which is fake someone and then go down the inside on a late break, which is I love red gate corner for doing that, and I love this track. But yeah, it's nothing I could do. I could do.
No, and then race 2. We've seen a few races where I don't know if Johnny's got a better start than you, or maybe the traffic in front of him has parted a bit easier. And I sort of look one lap in, and the pair of you are moving up the leaderboard, but somehow Johnny's got in front of you. But I looked this time, and you were still in front of Johnny, and I thought, this is going to be interesting. And then Johnny had his incident with Stefan. And then it was a case of, right, so when Simon gets to Jamie, what's going to happen? Is Jamie going to make a mistake and Simon's going to get past? Is Simon going to punt him into the scenery and get past? Or is Jamie going to roll over, have his belly tickled and let Simon get past? We didn't get any of them. He managed to hold on to it. Well, what's going on?
Yeah, I was surprised to have a start where I didn't end up getting passed by Johnny because the traffic just backed up on my lane, which is normally what happens. Then I actually got even luckier because then I was several cars ahead, and I thought, oh, this is useful. I can go off and chase, knowing that Jamie was going to get in the lead, and then he was going to start putting a gap slightly, so I didn't want that to be too big. I didn't see Johnny's incident. But I saw the end result of it, which was his car in a wall. I didn't see how it happened. I'll have to watch that back on the replay. And then, I was chasing after Jamie, and I thought, okay, I don't need to push this. I just need to run consistent laps. So I wasn't really concentrating on my lap time or being like super fast. I was just being consistent. And then I did that for like 2 or 3 laps, and then looked at the relative and thought, hang on a minute, I'm not catching here. This is a problem. So I started concentrating, and by that point, there was only like 2 or 3 laps left, and then I had like 1 or 2 pops, and that was about it. So, yeah, it's my fault for letting my concentration slip, which is what I'm most ashamed about.
Yeah,
otherwise I'd had more go.
And these, we've said it in the booth. These races just disappear. There's so much action at the start of the race, and and then cars tend to pair off, or there's 3 or 4 or 5 or sometimes 8, and you just get to that point where it settles down a bit. You can look at some of the incidents that have happened, and you do that, and you look up at the clock, and there's like 17 minutes gone, and you're like, what's happened? You know, have I gone through some sort of time shift tunnel or something like that? But that's just us watching it. So actually being behind the wheel and putting up with the pressure that's in front of you, behind you, all the shenanigans that are going on, it must seem like a 5-minute sprint race.
It does. The races feel just about the right length, because just as things start to get a bit quieting down, or you've had a few pops and things aren't happening, then the race ends. It doesn't drag on, or so it's quite good. Jamie has this annoying habit of being very fast if I'm either in front of him or he's behind me. Any other time he's slow. It's very annoying. But he just always seems to have an extra tenth when I'm right behind it, or when I'm behind him trying to catch him, or if he's behind me and in my toe. Very annoying.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he's doing really, really well in this car.
He could have done that last week when I did need him to go faster and I didn't need to be holding up Johnny.
Yeah. But championship-wise, I know people keep saying, "Yeah, I'm not interested in the championship," but we are. It's going to claw a few points back for you with Johnny's incident tonight. I think we've got 3 excellent circuits coming up with Rudskogen.
Rudskogen!
Street Fighter's at it again. Then we go to the Knock Hill, but the reverse track, and then we finish off at Brands Hatch Indy. So, championship's definitely not done and dusted, is it?
It probably is. Oh, he'll be fast everywhere. It's, and even if he's fast, he won't make mistakes like that again, and then
Still got
I'll only gain tiny points. But you never know. But as you say, it's not important. I'm turning up to have good fun on a Friday, and I'm getting lots of that. So, in a car that has less power than my own car, which is...
Then we expect you to be there next season as well, Simon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Possibly.
No, not possibly.
Can
yes.
we give him a ballast or something? just an extra 20 kilos or something.
Yeah, we'll give Stefan some sort of bonus to make sure he starts alongside Johnny every race. Anyway, congratulations on a couple of second places tonight. Commiserations to losing out to your teammate. Oh, you're all right. You've only got till tomorrow, and then you can take that back off of it.
Yes.
So, any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yep, everyone who's turning up every week. Obviously, we get a car field of 10. It's a small field, but it's good fun. The reverse grids are mental, so that's fun. You guys for running in, doing the broadcast and all that stuff. So there we go. And Brandon's Bistro on the side of the car, and all the mini Doningtons on it. There we go.
Exactly. Simon Trendle, always a pleasure. And, I'll definitely catch you tomorrow, but we'll see you next time out in the Clios next Friday.
See ya.
Okay, Wobbly. So, last up for you, third place in race 2, and should have been third place in race 1, but made a mistake. It's Wayne Sanderson.
Welcome, Wayne. Oh man, I was rooting for you. I was feeling the Wayne vibe. I was on the Wayne train to get you to the front position at the first race. You seem to have awesome pace. Can you talk us through what happened?
Yeah, well, I was really disappointed, obviously. Every time the guys at the front were battling, I was just getting in touch, and you know how this league has been going, right? So anything can happen. So, I was feeling pretty good about how close I was to them while they were battling. And then I swear I went over the same little patch of grass I've been over on every other lap previously, and nothing had ever happened. And then on that particular lap, the car just snapped a bit right, and that was it. It threw me to the other side of the track, and then I was on the grass, and then I was all over the place. And I'm surprised I saved it, to be fair. But obviously I lost all my momentum, and Adam had a run on me, so that was that.
Yeah, it seemed like you got hit by a Street Fighter, Clyde. Yeah, and you got it all the way to the right. And I saw you going to the right, and I was like, oh, he's gonna save it. Oh, where's Wayne? What happened to Wayne? Did he evolve in the realms of the black shadows? Where is he gone? And then suddenly he came back on track, and you had no speed at all, and Adam passed you. It seemed like you had a blast, though. It's been good to see someone being able to keep up with the pace of Simon and your teammate Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, I was grateful still to be in the race after Pete's bonsai move on. I think the first lap, I was into that last chicane onto the straight. I was just everyone was sort of bunched up, and I was about to turn in, and saw Pete trying to make a bit of a move. So I straight lined a little bit, and he went flying past, and I managed to still make the chicane, which was fortunate. So no, it was a good race. I felt quite good in terms of the pace in the car, but I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to doing the door-to-door racing at the moment. The lapping's easy, but the racing's coming tough at the moment.
It will come eventually. I mean, we're like 3/4 in the season. Well, not 3/4, like 2/3 into the seasons. And it seems like you're developing the feeling with the car. I mean, just looking at your second race, let's start there. So, second race, you ended up third, and we haven't seen much of you during that race. But at a certain point, me and Clyde were like, "Oh, there's Wayne. Oh, wait, Wayne is only a second behind those guys," and you suddenly turned up.
Yeah, I think I was lucky in the second race to an extent. I think I was behind Pete, and Adam had I think passed me fair and square, and I think he got a bit of a slowdown in the last chicane, and also I think he was side by side with Pete at the same time. So I just had all my momentum, so I managed to get a run on both of them down the front straight, and made it quite easy in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, looking forward to next week. So, Clyde, is it reverse? Is it Knockhill or is it?
It's Hulskoggen.
Oh, it's Hulskoggen. Sorry, I thought that was
then Knockhill reverse.
Oh yeah, I'm not definitely reverse. So it's Hulskoggen. So Hulskoggen, have you ever driven it in the Clio?
I've never driven it full stop, nor have I driven the following one either.
So never driven Knockhill reverse. So then you're gonna be in for a blast, because if you haven't driven Knockhill normally, then the reverse is even better.
Wow, sorry, I'm confident that my 1 hour's practice beforehand should see me through.
Well, congratulations on your second race. Unfortunate on the first race, because I was rooting for you. I felt, as I said, I felt the Wayne train. I was like, yes, he's gonna do it. He's gonna be able to pass both of them, and they're gonna collide. And I was really hoping that it would happen. And now it's all in the hands of God. If I'm gonna vote you for driver of the meeting, I will. Don't tell anyone.
Well, the secret's safe with me, yeah?
Yeah, okay, that's cool, mate. So is there anyone you want to give a thank you or give a shout out to?
You guys for the league, obviously. Really enjoy watching it back after the race and everything. XVR, of course. Johnny for his, for being in the league as well, and the other guys in the team, and Lane O'Connor as well. Great to see him back in a V8, and he's been a mentor of mine for a long time. So shout out to Lane.
That's really good to hear, mate. And we're looking forward to see you on track next week.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Right, so that is the interviews over. I think we've had another fantastic night of racing wobbly. But it's that time when we have to talk about the one that they all want to win. Never mind the overall championship, never mind the team championship. They all want to be named driver of the season. But to win driver of the season, first of all, you have to win some driver of the meeting awards. And we all know who you're going to vote for because you've just given it away. But tell us why.
Yeah, so I haven't given this away because it was a secret and I was whispering
Oh,
it.
yeah, secret,
So
yeah,
I
sorry.
took a long time debating this. I was gonna go for Pete, and then I was gonna go for Stefan, and then I was gonna go for Johnny, but then he stopped. So I ended up in a real good spot. I ended up on Wayne Sanderson.
Yeah.
What a surprise! I know, right?
To be fair, he's had a cracking meeting, and he was. This seems to happen every week. He was one of my picks, and I sort of thought to myself, I didn't know who you was going to pick until the secret came out, and I thought, well, if you go for Wayne, then I can go for somebody else, and. For all of the reasons you just said, I think Wayne had a fantastic meeting. I think Pete, we laugh and joke about Pete, and I know he likes it because it's the only affection that he gets. But I still think he had a couple of good results. I think Adam Wright as well. We've been saying for a while he's been a little bit crashy of late. And he wasn't crashy tonight, but he was off tracky. And I think his results could have been a little bit better if it wasn't for that. Jamie Wilson with a win. He doesn't get many, but unfortunately I can't vote for winners, which obviously rules out Johnny Brandon as well. So I'm going to vote for Simon Trendle because out of the non-winners, he had the best two results, and I think both of his second places could have been first places. He just came up against two phenomenal drivers that snatched those victories away from him. So Simon Trendle is going to get my vote tonight. So that is it for the Clios and round 13 and 14 at Donington. Next up, we're in the Mighty V8s tomorrow. We are at Barcelona and we are using the historic layout. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. Wednesday, TCRs are back in action, and I believe they are at Road.
Yes.
I don't know. Is it Road
Yes.
Atlanta or Road America?
No. Yes.
Road America. Yeah, I love
Yes.
that track.
Amazing track.
I'll get a chance to tune in this week. And then, as we've been saying all night, where are we next Friday, Wobbly?
Let's go.
There you go. There you go. We are at Rudskogen. I think it's going to be fantastic. But then again, I think we could put these cars on any track and it would be fantastic. So, the end of the broadcast. Let's give some shout outs to everybody that joins in on the chat. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for that. Big thanks to all the drivers for putting on this show. And I think what we had now, 14 races, and I think 13 of them have been absolutely fantastic, and one was a bit okay. That is down to the drivers. Without the drivers, there is no league. So keep up the good work, and we will keep up the good work in the background trying to grow the league. Thanks to Wobbly for joining me and teaching me how to say, let's go again!
Let's go.
Because, I didn't know how to say it before tonight. But no, big thanks to Wobbly. He does bring something, how can I say this nicely, unique to the booth. And sometimes he's sober as well, but not very often.
Well, not today.
So, yeah, that's the end. The championship's going to close up a little bit. I'm not interested in the championship. Trendle will be pleased that he's caught up a few more points, and I'm not interested in the championship. Brandon will be upset that he's lost a few points, so I'm sure they will do battle again next week. So it just leaves me to say goodnight, let Wobbly say goodnight, and then we'll close the broadcast. So good night everybody, thanks for watching and stay safe.
Yeah, good night everybody. Thanks for watching. If you're watching, smash that like button. If you're not already subscribed, also subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of, as Clyde mentioned, other leagues going as well. So we'd love to have you here every week. Good night, and looking forward to see you next time.